So I thought I'd say a little bit about some different types of therapy. So to start with, psychodynamic therapy, and this is a very brief outline. So in psychodynamic therapy, there is a belief that there's the conscious mind that we're aware of, but there's also the unconscious, which is what some people term the subconscious. So a realm that we don't really think about, know about in the day-to-day, but it has an influence over us. So this part of the mind might be where all of our primal drives reside, where any repressed or suppressed feelings might be pushed down into. It's the part of us that would have our intuition, our creative thought, but also have a lot of sort of turbulent emotional world going on. So in psychodynamic, there's an understanding that the influences from our parents, from our environment, from the interactions and the experiences that we have, all make an influence, and some of it we're aware of and some of it resides within that unconscious mind. And then as we form and grow within our lives, the unconscious can have a sort of invisible, secret influence on the way we behave, on the way we experience the world, and the way that we interact with others. So within psychodynamic therapy, you would be working with the therapist to try and understand and unlock some of those repeating patterns so that choice could enable a more positive outcome and a release of some deep distress if that's what's being experienced. In cognitive behavioural therapy, a different type of therapy that is much used at the moment within the NHS, they centre more on thoughts and believe that there are unhelpful thoughts that we have quite frequently throughout the day that might drive how we feel and then how we behave. So if, for example, you had a party invitation come through and that your particular thought was that nobody would speak to you at this party, then you might start to conjure up an imagination of what that scene would be like. And the imagination would initiate feelings of anxiety or of dread, and those in turn would be experienced physically within the body. That in turn follows through to then perhaps more thoughts about how you might avoid the situation or how you might retreat from it, and even how your behaviours might adapt to suit your changed thought patterns. So in cognitive behavioural therapy, they would try to go in to assess what those negative thoughts are and try and challenge them, find evidence for whether they're true or not, and try and re-establish a more positive set of thoughts to enable better feelings.